Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're going to take a look at another legend team for this season of the Go Battle League. For the Open Great League, we're going to have a team here, I think, from Matty, who got a dual legend with the Shadow Dragonite, the Water Gun variant of Lantern, as well as that Vigoroth. Of course, if you enjoy those videos, especially currently where, I know Pokemon Go is a little bit on downfall, would really appreciate a like on this video, would really help me out, and it is free. Anyway, we're gonna see here, Ice Punch coming through from the Hypno, nice catch from me here on that Lantern. We will be able to go for that full Water Gun down as the Swampert tries to come back in against us. But we have Water Gun, so we have neutral damage and also quite some fast damage. As you're gonna see here as well, it is adding up quite fast, and so we can use a shield to try to shield up the Earthquake as the opponent goes for that Hydro Cannon, and great bait from the opponent, but they should only get to another Hydro Cannon here as well. And so the Swampert is supposed to go down, but they swap out into that Bastiodon as we can retaliate with that Surf. And of course, in the back, we're going to have our Vigoroth, and this is going to be a good game. So, for me, currently in the current meta, I really enjoy Vigoroth. Like, Vigoroth is such a cool Pokemon to run, and definitely would recommend you to run this Pokemon as well. And here, I think they try to play it as, like, a closer role, which I like as well. You should either run it as a lead or as a closer. Back in the day, like, most of the times you would see this Pokemon as a Save Swap, especially for, like, Special Cups. By the way, good by opponent. But nowadays, you would more see it in the lead and in the closer position. Why? Because Annihilate is such a common pick that you really need to kinda, have answers for Annihilate. And if you try to Save Swap Vigoroth and the opponent has an Annihilate in the back, they can just counter you down and get out of the matchup with 100 energy. So sadly, it is not safe to run the Vigoroth Save Swap anymore, but yeah, it is what it is. We can still run it in the lead, we can still run it as a closer, as we can catch a move here from the opponent's Gallagher, which is quite nice. The opponent going to have here now the Charger Bug coming back in. We have a Water Gun, which means we have neutral damage against you, and so I'm not too worried about this matchup at all, as the Surf is going to do quite some nice damage as well against them. Gonna put them down into the yellow health range as they have to go for a charge move basically straight away. This is going to knock me out. I can go back into my Dragonite as I can try to reach that Dragon Claw on the CMP tie. I was forced to go for a charge move that time because otherwise they would get to another one themselves. But in the back, they're going to have the Poliwrath. I needed to get to this Dragon Claw. I didn't, and so I'm sadly going to lose this battle. Annihilate, exactly where we want to face this Pokemon. Let's see, they're swapping out into the Registeel. I was always not sure on how to play this matchup. There are several different ways on how to play this matchup. Like, you can either go ahead and go down to the Vigoroth, doing some super effective damage with counter. I opted against it. Why? Because I feel like a lot of times they have a double steel backline with Annihilate, because Annihilate being weak to Fairy type Pokemon, Annihilate being a good counter to other Fighting type Pokemon, it does make sense to run double steel lines, and so keeping the Vigoroth in the back can make some sense. But also, of course, the charge move pressure from Vigoroth is not there against the Registeel, and so it's better for you, it's better for everyone basically to not go ahead and go into the Vigoroth here. It's kind of a little bit of an awkward matchup because you're most likely going to be forced to use one or two shields against that Registeel in order to align yourself. Here, now the opponent gonna get a million energy, which is kind of annoying, but at least I will still be able to reach that Thunderbolt, do some nice damage, get them kind of low, and hopefully put them into range where maybe even Vigoroth with some energy has some play. Anyway, Night Sage coming through, we're gonna see in the back, it's going to be that Bastiodon coming in. Can we still deal with this thing? I kind of have a little bit of, I don't know, like something that I completely forgot. I thought the entire time basically that Rock resist Rock, which is not the case. So Rock Slide is the way to go, not Body Slam. Body Slam is double resisted, Rock Slide is single resisted. Yeah, that is definitely on me. Kind of silly to go for the Body Slam the entire time. Rock Slide would have been a little bit better. But we can still go ahead and go for the full counter down. And so we're going to be in a one counter range, which is quite nice. We can go for the Rock Slide, and I think we might be able to win this battle. As I let the move go through, we're going to be able to farm them down and win this one. Next opponent, we're going to have a Lickitung in the lead. And this is something that I kind of dislike about this team. Not really disliking, to be fair. But basically, there were so many Lickitungs in the lead, and I really would have liked to have my Vigoroth in the lead. Like, you could try this team out and just swap the lead with your closer, so put the Vigoroth in the lead and put the Dragonite in the back. I feel like this team might even make some more sense even. But yeah, right now, like, this is also totally fine here. We're going to see the opponent going for charge move. We're going to see also the Venusaur swapping in, which is quite horrible. But they decided to go straight for a charge move here as well, which is kind of cool. Not allowing me to get any damage onto them, but at least we can go back into our Dragonite, which is going to be able to go for that neutral Dragon Claw, which is going to do quite a lot of damage. This is going to knock them out even, which I did not expect. But I make a little bit of a mistake because I swapped straight away into it, and look at this, our switch clock is not up yet, and we allow the opponent to get way more energy than I want to, and this is going to be such a big issue. Of course, I kind of have to try to hit a Hurricane here very likely, so we decide to use a shield here straight away. And we still have a play here, but I decided to go for the bait here. This is almost like my only way of winning this battle, and it does not work out. They're actually gonna call it, which is quite wild. Like, imagine I went for the Rock Sale, which just won the game straight away, and yeah, that was definitely very risky, but good game to the opponent and well played there. For Relegator, I'm fairly certain you're going to be able to just shield once and just farm them all the way down if it's a Shadow variant, which you can see here as well. The opponent's going to be in the yellow health range already, which means they're below half of their health. And so in comes Alikita, we can just go into our Vigoroth, which can go for the Body Slam and also the super effective counter while resisting the Lick fast move. But actually this matchup is not even as great as it seems. I don't think I actually kept track of the energy as well here, because I am not gonna go for the full farm. I think I decided to go ahead and go for a charge move eventually here. And yeah, no, actually, all kind of totally fine. I think I could have went for one more fast move, but I don't think it really matters too much. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Don't mind me there. We're gonna see what they have in the back here. They're gonna decide to swap out into the Bastiodon. And again, I decided to go ahead and go for the Body Slam, which does not make sense. Like later on, I realized that Rock Salt is going to be the better move to go for. Don't worry about this, but yeah, here I decided to go for the double Body Slam, which I don't think really makes sense. I think a counter maybe does even more damage than that, but here at least we can align our Lantern, which is quite important, as we're going to expect them swapping out here, which they do. I am going to be forced to go for a charge move still, which is fine. Sadly, because I didn't swap out straight away, the opponent is going to be able to reach another move here, which is fine. I can decide to use a shield here. Why do I decide to use a shield? Because I still have that superpower stored for them, and so I can just go for that, force a final shield, put them into range where one serve is going to be enough, and we should be able to win this battle here, as we will see that we should be able to reach a serve. Yes, we can reach a serve. A Stone Edge is not going to be enough damage to knock us out either, and so this is going to be a good game. Next opponent, we're going to have a Jellicent here in the lead. This is going to be a quite decent matchup for as the opponent swaps out into the Registeel. I can kind of same play here. What I kind of want to do though is I kind of want to stay in until they go for a charge move, because I kind of want to force them to go for a Zap Cannon here, so I do get the debuff here, not on my Lantern. Here, a Zap Cannon coming through. Now I can swap out if I want to, but I actually decided to stay in here and still go for another superpower, where I could even decide to swap out afterwards into my Lantern to farm them down. It is not going to take the knockout, but let's take a look at this one. We can go for the full farm, and if you're lucky, we don't even get a debuff here. 33% chance to not get the debuff. We actually don't get the debuff, which is kind of cool. Or is it? I don't know, because we could have, even with the debuff, got more energy here, but it's totally fine, because now we gotta see in the back a Whimsicott. Whimsicott is a core breaker for this team, for sure, but we're actually in a fairly decent spot because we can align ourselves, and alignment is quite important. We will see the opponent going for the Seed Bomb, knocking us out. We can swap out into the Vigoroth, and this is going to be a neutral matchup. Moonblast going to definitely two-shot us as I swap out into the Jellicent. It is going to be Bubble Jellicent. This is good and bad at the same time. It is good for our Dragon Knight matchup here, but it's going to be bad for our Vigoroth matchup. So, what we can do here is we can go for a Dragon Claw, which hopefully is going to knock them out. Let's find out if it does knock them out. It does. And so, we can still go for another charge move. Superpower does a little bit more than Dragon Claw, but I don't really want to get debuffed yet. And the opponent is going to let the move go through, and looking at this, we can fully farm them down and win this battle. Goodra in the lead is actually quite awkward for me. Like, this is going to be a lead matchup that, yes, you can play out, but yes, you're going to be able to win the zero shield scenario as well, but they can just farm you down if they want to. And here we'll see them trying to farm me down, and you see also me swapping out here. Why did I swap out into my Vigoroth when I said the entire time that swapping into the Vigoroth doesn't make sense in the current meta? The opponent has a Goodra in the lead. What this means is they're going to be weak to Fairy-type Pokemon. Annihilate is going to be weak to Fairy-type Pokemon. It is quite unlikely that they're going to have an Annihilate in the back, and that's why I swapped out of here, and this is kind of how you can tell also the backend of a team, and if it's safe to swap out into a Pokemon. Look at the weaknesses of the lead. If the lead is going to be weak to Fairy-types, whatever, then you're most likely going to see Pokemon in the back that can deal with those Pokemon, but also you will not see Pokemon in the back that have the same weakness. at least most of the time. This is not a guarantee. There are some cases, which I also had like loads of times, where people are running a fighting type Pokemon in the lead and a fighting type Pokemon in the back, and just thinking like, yeah, if there's a Charm on the lead, I just forfeit, that's fine for me. But usually, at least, it is quite safe to assume if they have a Goodra in the lead, if they have a Dragon type Pokemon in the lead, that they're going to be weak, like not weak to more Fairy type Pokemon in the back. Here, sadly, we kind of misplayed the battle. I kind of feel like I always went for my charge moves like one turn too late, but it's fine. Surf coming through, going to knock them out. In comes now the opponent's Registeel, as he can still try to reach another Thunderbolt, but yeah, there's not really a lot that I can do about it. Like, there's not really a lot that I can do here. We're forced to try to catch a move here, didn't work out, so this is going to be game. Yeah, I think actually if I caught a move and went for like a charge move here as well with my Dragonite, it might be actually would have been fine, but it is what it is. Cresselia in the lead. It is going to be an interesting one because they're running Confusion. Confusion, Cresselia is actually a Pokemon I kind of want to take a look at. I feel like this thing is so overpowered currently, Confusion, because it's just going to be so much better against those fighting type Pokemon, and just does like so much annoying neutral damage that in the two-shield scenario you're a lot of times able to just align yourself, and that is quite important in this current meta here. But the opponent is swapping out into the Vigoroth. We were able to get a shield. We are swapping out after the opponent got four fast moves. What this means is we can always kind of still get to our body slams without having to worry about a CMP tie, so we are going to be in a fairly okay spot. I can actually let the move go through here as well. I don't really care too much about alignment at this point, as I can go back into my Dragonite. In comes again that Cresselia, and I can still reach that Dragon Claw, which is quite huge thanks to the previous energy that I got against that Vigoroth. Knock them out, and in the back it's going to be a Scrafty. This is still going to be a tough matchup though, because Scrafty is going to be quite a decent Pokemon, but yeah, let's take a look what the opponent is going to do here. We're going to see the opponent going to go ahead and go for the foul play. And yeah, we're forced to go for a Surf bait. Hopefully the opponent is gonna fall for it. I don't know about this, but they do not. But it still does quite a lot of damage, and we can just farm them down. So, next opponent, we're going to have the Lickitung again in the lead. As said before, I would really appreciate if this wasn't a lead Pokemon, but yeah, it is what it is. We can go for the bait. We can try to swap out later on as well into our Lantern to try to catch a move here. Yes, you might think, oh, Power Whip is going to be so awkward, but A, we're going to get out the opponent's Whiscash here, and B, the opponent does around the same amount of damage most likely with a Power Whip compared to the Body Slam against our lead. At the end of the day, it is actually better to just swap into your Lantern just because of the superior bulk that this Pokemon has. Here I can use a shield if I want to. I don't. I just let the move go through. I can go back into my Dragonite. I can go for that Dragon Claw before they reach a Scald. Scald would have knocked me out as well. And so I can still swap out though into my Vigoroth, but I was a little bit too fast at swapping into my Dragonite, and so the opponent was able to get to another charge move. I can catch the next one though onto my Vigoroth, which hopefully is going to allow us to still win this battle. It's going to be a Gligar in the back. That's going to be quite a difficult one. Here we have to make a call. Do they go for the Aerial Ace or do they go for the Dig? I was hoping the entire time now that they go for the Aerial Ace, which I still would survive from this range. Dig I don't, and so I decided to call it. Wrong call. It is what it is. I think I would have had a chance of winning if I used a shield there, by the way. But it is what it is. We're going to go up now into the final battle of today. We're going to have the Sableye in the lead. This is going to be a Pokemon that is quite decent still in the current meta. We can go ahead and go for that Dragon Claw. We can try to swap out onto the charge move into our Lantern, which can easily take this one compared to that Dragonite, which would go down from it. In comes the Annihilate. Perfect. Exactly what we kind of want to do with our Lantern in the back here, and I didn't count the moves. I just didn't count the moves. I should have very likely just went ahead and go for that Surf, which I didn't, and this is definitely on me. I can still reach the Dragon Claw in time, which is kind of cool for me, but still, I even swapped out a little bit too early into my Dragonite, and so I make quite a lot of silly mistakes. I have to say though, I did those battles at very late at night, and I definitely was kind of falling asleep already. But still, maybe it's not still enough to knock out the opponent, so let's find out here. We're gonna see the Stone Edge coming through. As the opponent goes back into the Sableye, we still have a good chance here of winning this battle. We can go for that Rock Slides here, which is kind of cool. And I think this is the battle as well that I cannot realize half asleep that Rock Slide is going to be better against the Bastiodon compared to the Body Slam, by the way. But yeah, let's head out here. You're going to be able to go for that Rock Slide again against the opponent. This is going to be able to knock them out. And in comes the Bastiodon. Can we still win this battle? Can I go for the Stonish in time? It is going to be a tough one. And yes, I decided to go for the Rock Slide for the first time in today's video against the Bastiodon, which is the better move to go for. And we can win the battle because of that. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like again and subscribe if you have not already. I cannot even talk anymore. So see you later for another video. Bye bye.